Yeah, number 6 was the close, right?
You don't have to do anything but pay taxes and buy. Technically, it's true. Is that right, Mr. Skinner?
Maybe. The answer is 224.
Boom!
The answer to this one is 32. Alright, so we're going to have t, that's a -1, plus s is -1, times the quantity of -1 plus -1 minus 2, square that quantity, minus a -1 times s squared is going to be -1 squared. So -1 plus, this is -2 minus 2, that's a -4, squared is 16, times the -1 is -16. That's a +1 when you square it, becomes a -1, so minus a -1, that'll be a -17, plus 1 is a -16. Lottery today is 3. Here's the first one from the practice test that we need to look at. At a convenience store, 2 candy bars and 2 bags of potato chips cost $4, and 3 candy bars and 2 bags of potato chips cost $4.75. What is the price of 1 bag of potato chips? Okay, one approach to this is you can do the following. 2 candy bars, so why don't we make candy bars be CB, and we have 2 of them, and 2 bags of potato chips, 2 PC, equal $4. And then we have, and 3 candy bars and 2 bags of potato chips cost, let's see, we'll have 3 candy bars here, and 2 bags of potato chips cost $4.75. Alright, is that right? Okay. So if I had this here, what I can get from this is that 2 of each is $4, but what's different on this equation here? Yeah, there's an extra candy bar and the price goes up by how much? So it's 75 cents. So if a candy bar is 75 cents, 2 candy bars is how much? $1.50, and then 2 PC equals 4. If I subtract $1.50 from 4, I come up with what? $2.50, and then half of $2.50 because you're dividing by 2 from this here. Be D. The next one is 12. That's the one everybody missed next. In the following figure, line M and line N are parallel. So let's go ahead and make this marking. I'll get a red marker out. M and N. So we'll do this and this. That's parallel. Alright, which of the answer choices does not necessarily add up to 180? Well, let's look at what does add up to 180. D and A, those would add up to 180. D and E, because they're adjacent, and that means they're supplemental. Supplemental to create a line is 180. B plus C plus E would be 180, and I'm talking about these here. I guess I should use the pointer instead of trying to write all over it. This plus this and this would be 180, just as these two add to get 180. F and G would be 180. A, B, and C would be 180. Are there any choices in there that we know add up to 180 that we could cancel out? We have D plus E here. These are gone because that's 180. E and G, we don't know necessarily that that's the case. We're not really sure that E and G can be canceled out because we don't know anything about B. B would probably be the information we would need to know. All we know is that F plus G would give us 180. What about B, E, and F?
Yeah, that has to add up to 180.
Why would it have to add up to 180?
Because it's a triangle.
Oh, E, B, and F. Oh, okay, I see what you're saying. Yeah, I thought you were referring to the supplemental and all that stuff. Okay, I got what you mean now. So yeah, that one's gone because that's the interior angles of a triangle. So what about A plus D?
A and D would.
That's 180.
Yeah, that would add up to 180.
What about A, B, and F?
That wouldn't add up to 180 necessarily.
It's not necessarily 180. So what about E and G?
I think E and G would, just because G is pretty much the same as D.
Looks to me like G is more obtuse. Seems like it's more open. It seems like this one opens up more than this, but I think what they're getting at is that there's not, from the information given, there's not a geometric theorem or a postulate or anything that would dictate that this would have to be anything in relation to that. Now, if you had a transversal like this that was parallel, they're parallel to each other in the blue, then you could make some information about exterior same side angles and such. But you can't here. So A plus B plus F.
I don't say that kind of 180.
A plus B plus F. Oh, I see what's going on here. It's this. This is a transversal, poorly outlined. And in a transversal, you have alternate interior angles.
So A and F would be.
A and E are congruent because of alternate interior angles. If they're the same, so A plus B plus F, let's see here. So what you can do is, in this problem, E can be eliminated and substituted in with A, so that would equal 180, therefore the choice must be K. Markham worked this out on the dry erase board. It turns out to be a system of equations, and the answer is E, negative 120. Alright, so we need a common denominator on this one. So we have to multiply that by 3. So we multiply the top by 3, come up with 3A over 3B, and then over here A plus 2 over 3B, and then set that equal to 1 over 4. So you have 3A plus 2 on the top and 3B on the bottom, and that'll be 1 over 4. The top is 4A plus 2. You simplify. And now you can cross multiply. Alright, so now we cross multiply and get 16. We'll get 16A plus 8 equals 3B. And leave the 16A on the left, 3B on the right, and move the 8 over, make it minus, and divide both sides by 16. And that's going to be choice K. Well, the midpoint formula is x1 plus x2 over 2, and then the other part of it is y1 plus y2 over 2. So you just determine which one you want to be x1, x2. It doesn't matter if you do them reverse or not. So you would have negative 6 for the x terms, negative 6 plus 9 divided by 2, and then for the y's it would be 1 plus 8.
Mr. Skinner, I had this one right, but you marked it wrong.
Oh, well, then I can go back and look at it. But this will be 3 over 2, and then this one will be 9 over 2. Anything more we have to do to that? Choice D. Sine theta. All we're looking for is sine theta. Sine is opposite over what?
Adjacent.
Hypotenuse.
Oh, son of a gun.
That's how
SOHCAHTOA. So here is sine, or theta, and then opposite is 2, and hypotenuse is square root of 29. But you cannot leave it that way. You have to multiply the top and the bottom by the square root of 29. So you get 2 square root of 29 over 29, which is choice E.